This is my Tajfun RCA 480 Joy. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a lot of times when this machine hasn't been very much joy. And right now is one of those times. I'm trying to collapse it all together so that I can move it, because this one happens to be trailer mounted and I have to move it. So the biggest difficulty that I have, and in my opinion it wasn't manufactured properly right from the get-go, and now I'm having troubles. Here's the problem. The engineer said that when you open the hydraulic valve to this 15-foot extended conveyor, that it will collapse within itself without any problem whatsoever. Well, so consequently, they made this with a single acting, push only cylinder, and is supposed to gravity feed back into itself and collapse. It does not do that. Rather, the cylinder is still, I've only moved this thing about maybe 6 times, so the cylinder is essentially brand new yet, and rather the cylinder is tight because it's still new, or what the issue is, I don't know. I've had to come up with things on my own to try to figure out how to rectify the problem. And as you can see right there in the front, there's a boat winch with the line stretched out. Now, I have had to make that for this machine. The whole idea is to take my hook and throw it over the top of the conveyor, and of course use the winch to draw it down inside itself so that I can get it so it's not too high to travel on the highway with. Problem is, everything's got to work just perfectly, because Harbor Freight, they only give you about 12 foot of webbing on this boat winch. I didn't know that it was that short. I thought it was like 20 feet, but it's only about 12. And so it's not long enough to reach up and over the other side so that I can hook the hook onto something and start drawing this down. This takes me 3 times longer to collapse this thing than it should. About a month and a half ago, I requested the information and the pricing to correct this problem by putting a double acting cylinder, which, by the way, they do now come with a double acting cylinder, not a single. And they wanted like $2,000 to put a new cylinder on it, plus shop rate, to do it, and the hydraulics, rehook the hydraulics a little bit or something. I'm not entirely sure. After I heard $2,000, I figured I couldn't afford it anyway. So this is my biggest beef with this machine. I've had a few other extra problems with it, but I've learned to work on it myself. And I think I've got most of it all figured out, but I've had it coming on almost 3 years now. And but currently this is my biggest complaint. This has been sitting here for about 30 minutes now, and it absolutely will not come down unless you force it down. I have tried to figure out different ways of doing it. Normally, the raising of the conveyor is the last thing I do. So I take this little excavator here that I have, and I push it in with the excavator while the conveyor is parallel to the ground. That works too, but I'm afraid of over pushing it, because it doesn't take that much to get this to collapse within itself. I'm afraid of putting too much pressure on it with the excavator. So I've tried to figure out a different way of doing this. And every time I have to move this trailer because of this issue, it just irritates the crap out of me that I had to spend so much money on this machine and to have this kind of issue. Tajfun, I wish that you would help me with this issue and do what's proper and put a double acting cylinder on this machine for me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much and have a good day.